Marriage is an act of ibadah. Therefore, it should not be mixed with culture, and it should not be done strictly according to a culture. But we grew within a culture that contradicts Islam in many respects. The Yoruba culture, for example, requires that when there is death in the family, everybody must come together, everybody must contribute money, and unnecessary, unreasonable, and senseless ceremony must be done. For a growing ideological Muslim, this does not make sense. And so we have been blackmailed, intimidated, and given names. Our Ìjọ Mashoku, we belong to a religious orientation that does not subscribe to burial ceremony. We also do not subscribe to birthday ceremony. The burial ceremony we don't just subscribe to are three, at least what I know. Number one, the normal Muslim burial. When somebody dies today, we bury him today. We now do 8-day fidal, and we now do gbogbogbò. When we invite everybody, we fix a date when we do the ceremony. Sometimes we do the burial today, we do this 8th day, we do the 40th day. Sometimes they will do the gbogbogbò on the 8th day or 40th day. Sometimes they will do the 8th day, they will do the 40th day, they will now postpone this big ceremony till another, maybe a year after. Everybody will go and prepare. They will slaughter a number of cows. All female children in the family will compel their husbands to come and compete with other husbands in the number and size of cows and in the volume of money that will be spent. Sometimes they will invite musicians. Musicians will sing the praise of every member of the family. They will spray money. Everybody will be happy. And sometimes what follows is tribulations over tribulations. We don't have the time to explain this one. So when we were growing up, we took a stand against this senselessness. There's another one. If it is a Christian and it's Yoruba, it is worse because they will put the corpse in the morgue for as long as they wish. And their wish is relative to when they will have enough money to do elaborate burial ceremony. So they will do service of song, they will do vigil, they will do the burial, they will do Thanksgiving in the church, and they will now do reception. All this will require three things: plenty of money, plenty of clothes, ashwabi, and plenty of trouble. Each person will take a tent to compete with each member of the family. So we grew to see this recklessness, this senselessness. We took a stand against it. So people will wait for us when we want to do marriage. If you did not contribute to burial, Nobody will contribute to your marriage. So they will be waiting. How will the marriage of your children be if you did not contribute to a burial ceremony? Of course, we were forced to contribute to senseless and recklessly expensive marriage ceremony, because these are the two ceremonies that bring the families together. If we are not going to do burial, what excuse are we going to give not to do marriage? And we didn't really have concrete scriptural and authority against elaborate marriage. What we know, which I'm going to mention very briefly, is that you spend according to your means. There is no maximum, but there is really no minimum. In fact, there's really no minimum. No minimum, no maximum. But there is standard and there are principles. So this was why we started subscribing to elaborate marriage ceremony in our families. Therefore, whenever it is our turn, in order to prove them wrong, we started doing elaborate marriage ceremony. But why doing this? We end up doing the marriage 3 times. Number one, the day we will go and introduce ourselves to the family, when the man will take his father, his mother, or his friends to go and meet the family of the proposed wife, the family will entertain them. Sometimes this entertainment is enough in principle for the nikah. This time, they will tell them what they wanted, and from that moment, they will pray for them, and they will start calling them husband and wife. In Islamic principle, this is Akidun Nikah. The next thing is they will now do introduction. During the introduction, they will marshal, there will be uniform. The husband, the prospective husband, will sew clothes. He will buy clothes for the wife too. All members of the family will come. The introduction will be, this is this person in our family. This is this person in our family. This is this person in our family. Everybody will introduce. Then they will now say, Kile wow, Ariyo. They now say, there is one ododo in your compound that we came to plug. They say, we have a beautiful girl in your family that we want to marry. So they will do the drama. They will now accept. Sometimes they will bring a letter, a designed letter, well-designed letter. They will read the letter formally, and then they will now accept them. They will entertain them. They will now give them lists for the marriage ceremony, go. And on the day of the marriage ceremony, sometimes the introduction is also combined with engagement. Sometimes after the first meeting, the introduction, the third one will now be introduction and engagement or engagement. This engagement, Alaga Duro, Alaga Joko will come. They will do the nikah. Yet, this third one is still not nikah. They will now do the fourth one. They will invite the malam or go to church. They will now do the formal marriage. They will now do reception. The reception will now be the fifth one. The reception will now be a separate program. They have been married now. So each stage will cost a lot of money from both sides, because the list will be for Akwati. They will buy bags, they will buy clothes, they will buy hijab, shoes, necklace, and the rest of them. In some cases, we even paid for cow. In some cases, you buy cow, the husband will buy goat, he will buy minerals, he will buy almost everything that they will use in the wife's family. This is what will make the marriage ceremony day to be postponed. The husband will start running about to fill the box with assorted clothes, suitable for the beautiful wife. Then, owó gbá, owó àwo, bàbá gbọ́, ìyá gbọ́, obìnrin ilé, ọmọ ilé, owó ọmọ olóṣù. The envelopes will be so many. And on the marriage day, they will present everything like that. By the time you look at this, in fact, one of you is telling me 20 million till he has increased it to 25. Yeah, by the time a young man knows about this, marriage will not come to his mind. By the time a young girl knows about this wahala, marriage will be the least to come to her mind. How did people violate the Islamic principles, apart from all this rigmarole, waste of money, and so on? Experience showed that sometimes when they do all this finish, they now find it difficult to achieve pregnancy. And then everybody will be on the Korah. You know what I mean by on Ikora? Everybody will now be tensed up. They will now begin to attribute it to the elaborate ceremony they did. In order to prevent that, they will now say, after introduction, they have become husband and wife. They can sleep together. They will not fix the date of marriage ceremony until the girl has become pregnant. Sometimes 1 year, 2 years, they are doing trial marriage and the girl is not pregnant. Sometimes they forget about it. Sometimes they will look at the implication of having invited everybody, having done introduction, and then telling people that the marriage proper will not hold. Sometimes a lot of funny things happen. So we began to look at it. What can we do? Some of the things we have done is to say marriage ceremony will require at least 2 meetings, at most 3 meetings. First meeting, when the boy meets with the father of the girl and he interviews him, he interrogates him, he investigates his family, and is satisfied that he can give his daughter to his family. Second meeting, which may be the last meeting, is when he says, bring your parents and whoever you want to attend the nikah on an agreed day. Sometimes we say not more than 10, so that there won't be more than 30. There won't be more than 50. Because we know it's not possible in Yoruba land, for example. So the second meeting will be Akdun Nikah. Sometimes we combine Akdun Nikah and say, go. Sometimes we hold the third meeting. After the introduction, the parents have met, they now fix the day of Nikah. And then whatever both family now agree to do is what will be done on the day of the nikah. This is how far we have reduced it to. First meeting between the boy and the family of the girl. Second meeting, the two families. That may be the final meeting once you do Akdu Nikah. But you do, sometimes the second meeting will not be Akdu Nikah, but they will have pronounced them husband and wife. The third meeting will not be Akdu Nikah. They will now say, we have just done Akdu Nikah. The first one was introduced. And you are not liable, no intact Akdu Nikah, they now fix a day for Walima to Nikah. What we are trying to do now is to say Akdu Nikah should take place the same day Walima to Nikah will take place. So this is the background to elaborate wedding that we have been subscribing to, even if we know that it is not quite tidy, it is not quite Islamic, it doesn't make sense to do israf. However, our understanding varies. Our understanding with our families varies. Our understanding of Islam varies, and a lot of other things. If we are marrying into a family that is a party family, it's going to be a little difficult to control it to a large extent. If you are marrying into a family where all of them want to be present and everybody wants to pay back the particular person, maybe he has been very active, supportive whenever such things will happen in the larger family. Well, it will be impossible to moderate it beyond a reasonable extent. I take our own marriage, for example. Our son's marriage wouldn't have been as elaborate as people made it. And it would have been more than it was done. If not because we happen to be who we are, and people felt that it should be a payback, but we struggled to make it moderate. Even at that, a lot of resources went into it. We are hoping that that will pay off for others that are about to come. We should be able to say, this is what we want, and it has to be as simple as possible. Inshallah, may Allah make it possible. Finally, Akdu Nikah is what we do to legalize the girl for the boy. Akdu Nikah is Nikah. Akdu Nikah is a covenant that you, as a boy, have gone to a man to ask for his daughter. You are saying, transfer responsibilities over your daughter to me. And the responsibilities are three: feeding, clothing, accommodation. Feeding, clothing, accommodation. These three are your responsibilities. Transfer them to me. That's what the Prophet Islam says are the responsibilities of the husband, which he inherits from the father-in-law, the father of the wife. However, the purpose of Akdu Nikah is the fourth responsibility, is conjugal relationship. If the man cannot do, or the woman cannot do, it is haram for them to marry. If they cannot do, if one of them cannot do, it is haram for the one that cannot do to marry. If both cannot do, it is makruh for the two of them to marry, but they can marry. On the understanding that we know we will just be companions, and so on and so forth. But if only one cannot do, especially the man, he must not marry, because marriage is conjugal relationship. Now, what are the arkan of nikah? The Prophet ﷺ has explained it. La nikah illa bi wali wa sadaq wa shahidain. There is no nikah if there is no wali. There must be a wali. Once there is a wali, it means is wali to a girl that is marriageable. You cannot marry without the consent of the wali. Even when you want to marry slaves, Allah says, "Fankihuhunna bi'izni ahlihinna." Marry them with the permission of their owners, those who are in charge of them. How much more when you want to marry a girl that is not a slave? You cannot marry her unless you go to her parents to seek his hand in marriage. The best thing is to go to the man, the father of the girl you want to marry, say, "I love to marry your daughter." And the man will call his daughter, say, "This boy says he's interested in you. Are you interested in her?" This is the ideal. If the girl is not interested, she will say no. If she's interested and she's a virgin, she will smile and keep quiet. Silence is a consent to the marriage. If she cries, we won't take it to mean she's saying no. And we won't take it to mean she's happy. We expect the virgin to say no if she's not ready, and to keep quiet if she's ready. But we expect a non-virgin to express herself, to say yes or no. We will look at the tears from her eyes. If it is hot, it means she fears that she's being forced into this marriage. So she's afraid of saying no, because she thinks they want to force her to marry the boy. If the tear is cool, it's not hot, it is tear of happiness that you know what I mean? So that is the ideal. But apart from this ideal, there is a pragmatic way of conducting nikah. The first stage is ijab wa qabul. The ijab wa qabul ideally is when a boy goes to somebody's father and says, "I want to marry your daughter." And the daughter says yes, by keeping quiet as a virgin, or by crying, or by voicing out as a previously married woman. This is ijab wa qabul ideally. But the other ideal, which is not really reality, but which is pragmatic, is a boy sees a fine girl. She's a Muslimah. He is also a Muslim. And he approaches her. "I want to marry you." And she says, yes. The next thing that must follow quickly is we go to the father. "Salam alaikum, sir. I have spoken with your daughter." And she has said, yes. "I'm here to seek your consent to marry your daughter." The man will still call his daughter. "This man said this. Is it true?" So it is true. That is the first stage of nikah. You have done two things out of four. You have you have done ijab wa qabul, proposal and acceptance, and you have got the consent of the wali. The next one is the fixing of sadaki. When you now involve the parents, you now call the parents, you now tell the parents, this is how much my daughter wants. Ideally, it is the daughter that should tell what she wants. But pragmatically, we can help our daughter after assessing the family of the husband. We can help our daughter to ask for what is reasonable. However, this sadaki does not stop the Aqdul Nikah, which will provide access to the girl by the boy. If you have named the sadaki, whether you pay or not, you can do Aqdul Nikah. And on the day of the Aqdul Nikah, maximum of 9 people. The remaining people are excess. They are guests that have come not mainly to witness, but to participate in the walima. We need to see the wali. We need to see the wakil. And they may come with their wives. The wali is the father of the bride. The wakil is the father of the groom. They may come with their wives, making 4. The husband, the wife, making 6. 2 witnesses, making 8. The officiating minister, making 9. Maximum of 9. Minimum of 7. In other words, the father of the bride, the father of the groom, the bride, the shahidain, and the officiating minister. Where the father of the groom is an imam, is the officiating minister. Yes, he will conduct the nikah and also admonish the couple and pray for them, and they go. So it does not cost anything. Once you get the consent of the father and you know about the sadaki, whether you pay the sadaki immediately or you promise to pay later, once Aqdul Nikah is done, you have access to the girl and you have married. Now, the main issue. What we translate into marriage ceremony is the walima. The walima ordinarily is to take place in the 2 families. The bride's father will complete the akikah of his daughter on the day of the Aqdul Nikah. He will slaughter 1 ram or goat or anything for his daughter. It is entirely for her. It is only the girl that partakes in the akikah in our own akikah. The boy did not participate because he was not conscious. He didn't know when we were doing akikah for him. But the girl waited until the day of her nikah, when she will do whatever she likes with the akikah meat. She can take it to her husband's house and she can give the guest. She can serve the guest. She can serve her family. She can serve her husband's family, and she can take everything to her husband's house. The compulsory walima is for the groom. Once he consummates the marriage, he must throw a party. But this party is according to his means. He can just invite his friend, 3, 4, 5 of them, and give them bread and tea. Yes, I'll serve them dates and water, depending on his capacity. I favor moderate marriage that does not have minimum, that does not have maximum. For one reason, it is better to establish the couple economically, to empower them economically, than to invite everybody to come and eat for one day while you leave the poor souls to fend for themselves and to continue the struggle of life. So this is all I want to say tonight. Ustaz will make his contribution. What is Abu Shakur doing? Abu Shakur, explain yourself. What is the meaning of this emoticon? Emoji. Any question from the platform? Any question from inside? Taufik, you want to ask question? Galib, you want to ask question? Fatia? I thought you want to ask question.
Was the virgin bride necessarily have to keep quiet or shed tears? Can't she just say no or yes?
She can say no.
Or yes.
She can say yes or no. The idea is a virgin is bashful. She's always shy. That's why she wouldn't want to talk. But nowadays, like you said, it is better for the girl that is being proposed to open her mouth and say yes or no. It is better. The bride's father can conduct the nikah if he is an imam, but he can honor another. It is better he asks another person to conduct the nikah. Because the Prophet conducted the nikah of his daughter. That's the sunnah. Yeah, Ustaz. Ustaz, mashallah. Imam Badewa, Imam Shagun. Imam Badewa ni. Imam Badewa de Shagun Tilo. Imam Badewa lo ambinsin. Imam Badewa now.
Naam, salam alaikum, sir. Salam alaikum.
Why waiting for Imam Badewa? Okay, Imam is talking.
I've been seriously
Imam Badewa, we
disturbed
can't
by
hear
network.
you.
Network always threw me out.
Connect your microphone to the...
Sir, from my end, the network is bad.
For Imam
I only add by name. I didn't...
Come on. Fridaus, can we hear your comments? Fridaus, unmute yourself and talk.
Okay.
You are raising your hand. Imam is talking, but we can't hear him. Am I the only one that cannot hear Imam?
No, sir. He has network. His network is giving him issues.
Oh.
Sir, but there's a question in the chat box.
What's happening now?
No, sir, there's a question in the
seems
chat
to be
box.
talking too. We can't hear him.
Okay, there's a question in the chat box.
Am I the only one that cannot hear them? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Okay. There's a question in the chat box. I don't know if you can hear me.
Upstairs. I can't hear them.
When you go for questions, it's chat. You can type it.
Imam seems to be talking.
When
But
you
we
go,
cannot hear him.
I don't want anybody in so.
Nobody can hear me.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa marriage, wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé kí obìnrin
Yeah, alaikum salam.
tí obìnrin ò bá ní ìyá,
If
tí ò bá ní bàbá, ó lẹ́nu láti bẹ̀rẹ̀
Sadaki
consent
was
lọ́wọ́ bàbá
paid
kó tó
without the
ṣe
consent of the bride
ta nìyẹn lè
and
bẹ̀rẹ̀
the family have
bí tí ò bá ní
accepted it,
parent.
well,
Àti pé
it is acceptable.
wọ́n ní pé
But
virgin ni
what the bride needs to do is
virgin
to
na ó
discuss with her
ṣàì tó bá
husband.
ti kọkùnrin bá ti
Later.
bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Kó bá jẹ́ àwọn obìnrin tó
It is strictly between the husband and the wife. Strictly between the husband and wife. I've answered the question in the group chat. That the question I just answered now. But I can't hear. Someone else is talking, but I can't hear. Before me, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
So you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
You can't hear us.
Why is it that I can't hear you? You can hear me.
We can hear you, Imam.
Alade.
I think it's your network. You may have to go in and go out again.
I think I've answered the question in the group chat. Yeah, can we? Okay. Okay. Okay, let me try and rejoin. Àwọn ọkọ ìyàwó méjì ni. Àwọn ọkọ ìyàwó méjì.
Chatting Bawasa.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
still
us?
can't hear.
Oh.
Are you talking?
Yes, we are talking.
Is anybody talking? Maybe my network. I can't hear Firdaus asking a question. Maybe somebody should help me type the question.
Okay, Firdaus, please go ahead with your question.
Firdaus network.
Firdaus is no longer on the call. Any other questions?
That has typed our question.
And they can hear me.
Firdaus has typed our question.
Yeah, Firdaus asks, a guy without a father, who gives her out? Her uncle, her grandfather, her elder brother, and the most significant male in her family. If all of them are non-Muslims, the Imam of the community can give her out. Wallahu ta'ala alam. All right, we have 6 minutes to go, or so. Eight minutes. Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead with your question.
Dosumu Abdulhafiz, can you ask your question? Since I can't hear now. Network even. Another question from you?
There's another question from Fidaus, sir.
Fidaus ti kọ another question sórí chat room.
There are two questions now, sir. One from Fidaus. She said, if one is in doubt about the marriage, and what we should do, because people might take our silence for being positive.
A woman cannot marry against the wishes of her parents. Her parents must consent, and she must find out why they are unwilling to consent. What our parents see, we may not see. So we should not force our parents to allow us to marry a person they are not willing to make us marry. When you have doubt about a marriage, what can you do? Because they might think your silence means you are positive about it. When you have doubt, you voice out. Tell your father. If your father is difficult to relate to, tell your mother. You cannot keep quiet when you have doubt. You must express your mind. Yeah, nobody's talking. We have 4 minutes to go. Alhamdulillah for tonight. Inshallah al-Aziz, we are going to continue our Surah Yusuf. The summary tonight is that we have so many absurdities in marriage ceremonies, And Islam makes it very simple, and it is important, more important, to empower the couple economically than waste resources on extravagant, reckless, and senseless marriage ceremonies. If you have difficulties, revert to us. We can talk to ourselves as parents. May Allah make this presentation better understood and applied, and I've struggled to present it tonight. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. I thank all the parents and the youth teachers that are on the platform. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.